I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. So apparently Donald Trump did not pay, should not come as a surprise, many of the co-defendant lawyers who were responsible for raising nearly $250 million based on false claims that the election was stolen, that Donald Trump is essentially stealing to fund his own criminal defense, not to pay the individuals who got their hands dirty criminally and who were part of the criminal enterprise. That should come as no surprise, though, at all. Donald Trump has stiffed people from bills his entire life. That, frankly, is what it means to be a Trump. Not paying your bills and bankrupting everything you touch. So this new report right here from CNBC confirming that Donald Trump's co-conspirators and co-defendant lawyers in the various cases like Rudy Giuliani, Ken Chesebro, John Eastman, Sidney Powell, not only did they not get paid basically anything, but that Donald Trump didn't even reimburse these people for expenses that they expended being part of a criminal conspiracy on behalf of Donald Trump. Just think about it. The fact that Giuliani essentially got paid zero zilch, not Giuliani consultants, not Rudy Giuliani individually, not any law firms associated with Rudy Giuliani. And this was further confirmed because special counsel Jack Smith called in Bernard Kerik, former disgraced police commissioner in Manhattan, and asked him, you were part of the Giuliani team. Did you get paid? You know, you made this post, Bernard Kerik, after the election. And here it is right here on Twitter where you said, I want to know what the GOP did with the $250 million they collected for the election legal fight. Lawyers and law firms that didn't do shit were paid lots of money, and the people that worked their ass off got nothing. Not sure why you're looking to the GOP. That was the Donald Trump phony election defense fund that Donald Trump is using to fund his own defense, that Donald Trump is using the past 6 months paying over $45 million to pay people like Alina Habba and other lawyers so that they could just say how great he is and to spread these deranged lies and make fools of themselves on TV. Just think about it, that Eastman didn't even get reimbursement. And now you've got Rudy Giuliani out there criminally charged in the new indictment in Fulton County, potentially going to be charged in numerous other cases. You've got Giuliani bankrupt. I mean, granted, I suppose the PAC did pay for the electronic discovery vendor in the Giuliani case, but didn't pay for Giuliani's actual services, because now you've got Rudy Giuliani out there doing a video like this.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here's my handle, here's my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. I'm a very special teapot. Yes, it's true. Here's an example of what I can do. I can turn my handle into a spout. Tip me over and pour me out.
Yes. He's saying that he is a little teapot, short and stout. Or Giuliani doing a video like this, begging for money. Play this clip.
I'm Rudy Giuliani. If you want to have a really nice conversation, or a birthday greeting, or just talk golf, go to the link below.
Meanwhile, you got people like Alina Habba, who was paid over $1.2 million, saying, just going on TV, getting paid to say, oh, Donald Trump's the most ethical person I've ever met. Here, play this clip of Habba.
But they would like the American public to believe in these bogus indictments, that there are some facts that say that President Trump was obstructing justice. When he has his turn in court and when we get to file our papers, you will see that every single video, every single surveillance tape that was requested was turned over. If President Trump didn't want something turned over, I assure you that is something that could have been done. But he never would act like that. Okay, he is the most ethical American I know.
Let's talk about the indictment, because
let's just go through the financial financials right here for a moment. Look at these firms that were paid. You got Joe Tacopina's firm that was paid $1.7 million. You've got, and he's representing her on the case Donald Trump lost in Manhattan federal court, where Donald Trump was found liable for being a sexual abuser of E. Jean Carroll, right? You've got the Haba, Medayo, and Associates. That's Alina Haba's firm, got paid $1.5 million for Alina Haba to go on and say the types of things that you just saw. Who else? You got the Banal Law Group, right? The Banal Law Group, those are the people who just filed to revive the case that Alina Haba was sanctioned over $1 million for in connection where they sued an RICO racketeering case against Hillary Clinton and 31 other defendants. The case was dismissed as being patently frivolous. Banal Law Group filed a motion to reopen that case. Well, they were paid $1.1 million. Look at all these other law firms, but you don't see here anything of Eastman, anything of Sidney Powell, anything here of Rudy Giuliani, and Alina Haba is laughing all the way to the bank.
I know a lot of you watching are entrepreneurs. You run your own business, and I run a business too. So I know how hard it is to manage your numbers, manage the trends, manage the market, and budget everything. But not every business is in the dark. Because of our sponsor today, NetSuite. 36,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down costs. 1. Because your business is one of a kind. So you get a customized solution for all your KPIs, your key performance indicators, in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need all in one place. The power of having all of this information in one place to make better decisions is truly unprecedented. And the offer that NetSuite provides has been a total game changer for my business, and I know it will be for yours as well. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance, absolutely free at netsuite.com/Meidas. That's netsuite.com/Meidas to get your own KPI checklist. netsuite.com/Meidas.
Here she is being interviewed by Maria Bartiromo, who herself makes somewhere between $5 and $10 million. And Alina Haba saying, Donald Trump is just so rich and independently wealthy, he needs his PAC to grift so that he could pay lawyers. What is she even talking about? Here, play the clip.
Alina, let me get your take on the money being spent here on legal fees. Did you hear what Congressman Byron Donalds just said? He said that he believes the strategy of the Department of Justice is to bleed Trump dry, to bring so much legal issue and problems to Trump that he has to spend all of this money on legal fees. You are the general counsel of his super PAC. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the political committee has spent more than $40 million this year on legal fees as he and a constellation of advisors have been swept into these various investigations. How much has it been, and how are you directing the money in terms of paying for legal fees?
Tens and tens of millions of dollars. And I do think that that is part of the strategy. It is incredible. They have brought in people like myself who have nothing to do with these cases. I was not part of the administration, just so that lawyers have to get lawyers, and these lawyers cost money. And when you take a broad net and you try and intimidate anybody who is part of his circle, whether I couldn't even say inner circle, Maria, it's gone further than that. You know, the valet at Mar-a-Lago, the chefs, the whatever. It's crazy. And it is on purpose. Nothing they do is not intentional. It's calculated, and it is to make him bleed. The problem is that President Trump is independently wealthy as well, and they forget that. And he has said at rallies, I will do whatever it takes. If it means I have to spend my own money, I will. He is very protective and kind and generous. And at the end of the day, they're going to try and take him down financially. And that's just frankly not a good angle. I don't know if they've seen, his wealth, but it's probably not the best angle to go at.
Alina.
So according to this article by CNBC, according to the final report by the House Select Committee, after raising $250 million on false voter fraud claims, mostly from small donors, Trump did not spend it on fighting an election he knew he lost. Trump's entire political network, including his joint fundraising committee, spent over $47 million combined from the start of 2020 through the end of 2021 on legal fees. Today, that money is instead helping Trump pay his own legal bills. The PAC spent over $20 million in the first half of the year alone on legal fees as the president faced the first two of his 4 indictments. The PAC then began the second half of the year with only about $3 million cash on hand. It talks about how Federal Election Commission records and testimony from the House January 6th Selects Committee reveal that none of the private sector lawyers identified in that case got paid for their post-election work. So Sidney Powell didn't get paid, Kenneth Chesebro didn't get paid, Giuliani didn't get paid, John Eastman didn't get paid, all co-defendants. Giuliani and Eastman wanted a mix of reimbursements and payments, but records show they received virtually none of that money. Powell had to turn her own law firm to pay her volunteers. All the while, Trump team raised hundreds of millions of dollars off of the false claims of election fraud that Powell and Giuliani promoted on TV and court. And then Trump is using that money to then defend himself in the criminal cases brought against him now that he's grifted all of that money. The article is called "Trump Stiffed His Alleged Co-Conspirators," should say co-defendants, whose false claims brought in $250 million. The article goes on to explain how Giuliani, Chesebro, Powell, and Eastman were among the over a dozen other co-defendants in the indictment brought against Trump in Georgia for trying to illegally overturn the 2020 election results. Matt Morgan, an election lawyer for the Trump campaign, recalled to the House Select Committee in 2022 that Giuliani requested $20,000 a day from the Trump political operation, working 5 days a week for 2 months. This would have amounted to $800,000 in legal fees, but he never got it. The financial records show he got about $100,000 in travel fees. John Eastman asked for a reimbursement, but didn't. Says election commission records show that Eastman didn't directly receive a single reimbursement from Trump's campaign, despite an agreement. All of these too, with these lawyers, had like handshake and oral arrangements with Donald Trump. How you do that is absolutely beyond me. And then it talks about how this election lawyer says, the election lawyer for the Trump campaign says, recounted an email he received on Christmas Eve 2020 from Giuliani seeking payments. Quote, "What I make of it is that I think these guys were reporting directly to Giuliani, and when it came time to get paid, they were looking to me to get the money, and I was never in the position to be prepared to just write checks to people. We're not just going to set money on fire to do stuff," Clark told the House committee. And as I mentioned, Sidney Powell had to pay her own staff. So once again, it's like the biggest grift in the world, and Trump's, grifting his MAGA base, the lawyers, the now co-defendants in the case who committed the crimes. It's like, when are the people going to realize what does he actually need to do? It's outrageous. But there you have it, folks. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Go to MeidasTouch.com for all of the up-to-date information, breaking news. Also, check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Make sure you subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. Have a great day.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.